Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I'm Imphenzia, and back in January, 140 people from the Imphenzia Discord community server all got together and modeled a city block each. And finally, I managed to put all of those city blocks into one single city, and so much for low poly. It's actually up to about 18 million triangles by now, but it's still got that low poly look and feel. And it took about 62,000 frames of rendering across the PCs that I've got available here where I live. So my family got a little bit annoyed that I had to steal their computers as well. But finally, all the frames were rendered. It took nearly a week to do it. And I did a fly-through through the entire city and tried to give each and every block a little bit of love and a few comments. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to be announcing 5 winners from this challenge. It was very difficult to pick the 5 ones because there were quite a few very good submissions. And for everyone who's participated, I'm super thrilled. You've done an amazing job. I'm really impressed by a lot of the work that you put into this one. Before I get started as well, I do want to put a little disclaimer out there because it was very important that the city blocks that were submitted had a single object in it and had one material. And quite a lot of the entries had multiple objects, and what happens in the import process then is that a lot of the faces will become inverted and materials may go missing during that import. And I tried to fix that as much as I could. But there will be entries where there's maybe like a ground polygon that's missing, or some walls that are broken, or maybe even some pink materials or incorrect materials that you didn't intend to look the way they might show up. So if that happened to your block, I'm sorry if it did, but hopefully I managed to fix most of this stuff during the import process. Usually I put stock music into my videos, but in this video I'm actually going to play a few of my own tracks in the background for a change. And if you like the music, you can head over to patreon.com/Imphenzia, because my Patreon supporters can download my music. I've made about 10 hours worth of music that you can download if you check the history posts there. So with that said, let's get started. Let's fly through the Imphenzia city now that you've all got together and created. Alright guys, welcome to the Imphenzia city that you guys have been helping me to create. So let's take a fly through all the blocks and see what the city has to offer. First up, we've got Furkancho with a hospital with restaurant. Like the white colors, like the ambulances, loads of them. Cool entrance, and overall just a nice building. Center of town there. Then we have Mikael, who's created this really nice mansion on the outskirts. A Swedish flag, lovely garden, lots of trees, and green. Nelson built this really nice pizza place. Love to eat there, by the way. And a blue building, not sure if that might be a police station, and a residential building. And there was some problem with the import on this one, which is why the floors are missing. Indy created the South Trust Bank. Cool shaped building here with some nice palm trees. Wouldn't mind those now as well, with the weather being the way it is. And across here, under the passage there, is a storage unit. Fernando LV3 created the business district with a nice tall cylindrical building and some semi-high rises and lovely parks as well in between the buildings, and a cool color scheme. And over here in town, I think we've got a bank robbery in the progress. 3D Navea created Maya City. Cool high-rise buildings, school and playground. And the white box actually looks a little bit like where I used to live in England. Mirko C created Imphenzia's headquarters. Wouldn't mind actually working from there. I'd have to pick one of those buildings. I like the fountain and the gardens around it, and the creative use of the gradients in the windows. The Cod Genius created Plasma City, and that's also a creative high-rise style building with a helicopter at the top of it, and a little soccer pitch as well to have some fun during the breaks. Skycoder made a cool cylindrical building here with the creative use of blue colors in the windows, and the rest of the buildings look really nice as well. Plenty of parking spaces and a helicopter similar to the previous block. Anführer der Giraffengang, I think that means leader of the giraffes, created 3 cool residential buildings and nearly a Minecraft styled garden to go with it with a square look. Let's jump across to see what Andre HS created, and he made Oceana. I'd really like the style of those buildings. Cool design. I don't know if they're built on real-life blocks. Nevertheless, they look really cool with the balconies, and overall a very cool shape to those buildings. Monster created a really tall high-rise, and he didn't put a name to it as far as I could see, but it's probably the tallest building in the entire build. Really like the cool look of it. I love the simple geometric shapes and the window work, and also the gardens make it look fantastic. At the outskirts of the town, this police station was created by Index, and not only do I like the buildings, but the cars are really cool looking too. Proper police cars and a satellite dish on the roof. DigiG created a taste of Japan with this awesome looking Tokyo Sky Tree. Some cool surrounding buildings and some sort of a train or tram station as well to go for it. On the other side of town, JME Programmer created Russian Cathedral. Cool towers with really nice looking colors all over the building, and the spiraling domes to finish it off, and a flag. Let's fly down Main Street and go to Mania's Block. Mani created Mania Block. It's got some greenery and trees, as well as some industrial or office looking buildings, with some vent ducts and chimneys on the top. Gotta let the heat out. Noki created Russian Yard, with 2 residential buildings, some staircases in between them I think, playground in the background, and a lot of jumbly parked cars. I like the look of that. Right next door, Johan created a police station and a fire station, and some police cars and fire engines to go with it. Is it the Canadian flag without the leaf, or Peru without the center thing? And then Bharat created a real design of a futuristic sci-fi design, and it's the Avengers Tower. It looks very similar to the original. Love the color scheme and I love the design of it. I haven't really seen the movies, but as far as I can remember, it looks pretty close to the original. Over here, Amitsim created 3 taller looking buildings, 1 cylindrical and 2 triangular, and a side building as well. And I think that flag was Israel's flag, but during the merge process it dropped out a lot of the polygons. They had some issues with inverted normals and multiple objects. Shubham created what looks a bit like a football pitch, a smaller one, and next to it a really nice tall looking office style building and a massive glass building on the corner as well. I like the shape. And over here, Real created a building, and I think it might have a shade smooth on the walls or something. Something's up with the normals, and maybe the windows are a little bit off scale. But overall, I like the little Ferris wheel and the balcony to go with it. Over here, Namrock created a really nice looking block with a very different style of buildings. I think that's a police station, and we've got all sorts of colors looking really nice, all different styles, and a cool little cathedral or church on the end with nice colored glass. Ingmar created Prison Freiburg. I don't know if that's based on a real building, but it's got a really cool looking star shape to it, or asterisk. A prison yard for them to exercise in, cool windows, and a retaining wall to keep them inside. Good job. NP built a construction site with a cool looking crane, really tall one. A lot of the details on this one. And some porta potties and caravans, I guess, for the builders to live in as well. Nessie created a fire department that not only looks great, it seems to have enough funding to put a very nice looking park behind it as well. And the fire engine is great, and those doors are amazing. Great job. Curbiers created a really cool looking block with lots of different things going on. Got a little construction site there, different types of buildings, a graveyard, a little football pitch, a park, residential buildings. Loving it. And over here, Jarjov created the Eiffel Tower, and this one doesn't quite qualify because it went outside the boundaries of what was allowed, but it could fit here on the outskirts at least, and it provides a great viewing spot. Cromerby created a corner block here. It had a helipad on the top, but also some broken geometry, unfortunately. And over here we've got a great looking church by Speltekniken in the church block, and it looks a lot like St. Johannes Church in Stockholm, and also the yellow buildings that surround it remind me of Stockholm quite a bit, and all the trees. And practically right next door is a huge hospital with an emergency entrance. Lovely looking building with a helipad at the top and a nice walkway to tie the 2 buildings together, and a good parking lot as well. If we shoot across all the way to the outskirts here, I really like the warehouses here that Urban has created. And along with the warehouses are some really cool forklift trucks, cones, and gas cylinders, signs, ladders, you name it, it's in there. And let's shoot back into town, and this time we're gonna see a little slice of Birmingham that Billy J created, and I actually recognize a few of those buildings, and it looks really nice, detailed, great work on both the tall buildings and the low ones, and this canal and the canal boat, and overall I really like that one. Sparky PT created Capital, also a nice and clean design, lots of parking if you want to visit this capital. And then we've got a block here submitted by Samichi Games, and it's a tall building in the middle and some colorful domes on top. I'm not sure if that was intended with the colors or maybe it was a texture issue. And right next door, Vivian has got a little nice retreat here with some, I guess it's residential buildings, but it's got a nice pool and a playground in the center as well. I think my kids would want to play there actually. And then right next door again, we've got the City Bank created by Rich New 77. Very cool looking design of the building, I like that. It's got a parking lot outside and some cool designed little ponds on the back. We need some more industrial buildings, and Kain has created a factory plot. So it's got really cool design buildings, again, all industrial look. I like the factories and all the extra things that go around it. Even some trees in the middle to break out all that industrial look. Great job, I really like the design of this one as well. A city wouldn't be complete without a school, and over here Hogan has created a school. Nice and simple design, and a grand entry to be honest. Now let's head to the beachfront and the expensive areas here, and Fly has created a mixed block. Really cool looking design, both of the blocks and all the little umbrellas, and he's scattered loads of people with different poses in this one. I was really impressed by all the different type of poses. Here we've got a couple with the COVID masks. Here's someone's sprinkling a little bit, keeping that ground moist. And over here we've got some people shopping. The block itself was really, really good. Even though I drive electric myself these days, I'm glad some people compensate and do some emissions for me. Pauglin has created this car meet scene with the Imp Mart, bonus points for that one, cheap store and the sausage, and a perfect parking lot to drift around. Zork/Simon created this Wuppertal, Germany mashup. Not sure what that means, but it's a cool park, a skate park, a bunch of buildings and graffiti. I really like the graffiti, and it even says Imphenzia here, but it's got a C instead of a Z, I think. Facing the ocean, Off the Rails literally went off the rails and created this really cool looking park. Plenty of detail here, lots of trees, lighting, some benches, different little things to buy some stuff, and of course E to extrude, S to scale, and R to rotate. And here we've got a little basketball court as well. I like it. Puke Moth created, I think this is a residential area with some nice streetlights and trees, and it's got even a swimming pool on the inner yards there. And over here, the Sherlock animator created apartment block. Really colorful looking buildings there, a park in the back, and also a car park with a lot of the template cars, I think. And over here we've got a grand entry by Mini Soup. He created the corporate park. Lots of details here with staircases. We've got an inner park with a parking garage. Loads of different cars are parked here. Part in the lighting. I had to skimp a little bit on the rendering settings. And then cool detailed buildings on the side here as well, even with some sitting areas and some twisting buildings coming up. And we'll be coming back to this one. Not sure why the camera took a little detour. Cleffy86 created something he called Banana Store with residential, and literally there is a banana store there and some residential buildings with some flowers on the side and nice gardens and balconies. Back to the beachfront, and Liluter created Liluter Marketplace. Very nice looking garden, a cool church, trees, and lots of details, a marketplace, a skate park, and a nice fountain. And then someone got an A for effort trying to pick a name. His name is Fart Nuggets, and he created apartment buildings. Architecturally, pretty cool designs actually, especially that brown one in the center, and there's a car park to go with it. We need a fun park as well, and someone took care of that. This fun park was created by Zudad, and it's got those swings. My kids actually love them to bits on Gröna Lund. Little Ferris wheel, lovely looking low poly park in the background. And right next door, this really nice looking building by Dagon Basha. There's something about those colors and those tiles that make it look really, really good. Cool trees that go around as well, and a little corner building. Then we've got to look up towards the sky a little bit here. We've got this twin tower that's twisting up by Satchmo 1991 called My Block, and it's got a little cool walkway across the top there. And if you need to go shopping, Lepsy666 created the mall here. Parked a lot of the template cars around with some really thick parking lines there. You're only allowed to submit one entry, and I actually noticed this a little bit too late. So Lepsy666 created this farm as well that ended up in here, so I'll keep it in here. Let's go back to the beachfront here, and Coem created a really nice looking modern office, and I'm not sure if this is based on a real design, but I really like this design. It's super nice, the building and the park that goes around it, the whole thing, architecturally it just looks really good. Let's stay by the beachfront here, and Arvid has created a really nice housing block here. Some residential buildings, one of the few entries that went down underground as well, and lots of trees, a little construction area, Imphenzia sign, and trees all over the place. Cool balconies, and overall a really good entry. Now it's time for a sporting stadium here, and TD Dawson created a tennis stadium here with a tennis court and some seating to go around it and trees. Mr. K-Dog decided to create the outskirts here. A bunch of buildings, some parking spaces, he's got a little diner there. Wouldn't mind eating there now, I'm starving. A cafe and a for sale sign. We should build something there as well. And looking fresh over here, we've got CamTom92's Plaza House Coffee Shop. It's got a pizza place, a guy looking at his watch waiting for the bus, and some residential area as well, some extra houses. We've got another construction site entry here by Hungry Cat Games, construction site object. Really cool looking mesh frameworking there, and the crane as well, similar to the other entry, and here's a truck and a pit that went down underground. And then another frequent watcher of the channel here, we've got Kid in the Back of the Class, who's created some cool looking buildings here. Not sure if they're based on real ones, but I like the look of them, very unique design. Good to have another hospital there too. Let the bells ring, right next door Lifetime created SPB Cathedral. Very cool looking pillars, entrance, and a nice dome on the top. Like the windows, and I like the entire design of the building. And right next door again, we've got Ming, who created the Causeway Network, probably one of the more unique looking buildings, alongside with some other nice looking buildings and a nice park as well with some unique take on the trees. Nice and colorful. And a short trip next doors, we've got the Allmart by Kenneth. Blues and purple for this one. All the way back to the beachfront now, we've got Hotel Imphenzia by Bug-Eye Jones, I think its name is. Very detailed, actually, one of the most detailed entries. Lots of people, this guy's taking a dive off the board there. We've got balconies, loads of unique looking cars, trees, even more cars. We've got Benny's there on the corner. And here we've got a petrol station and someone's driving out, so very impressed by that one. Cleaning the COVID out of the sewage water, AVM has created a little water plant here, providing the city with clean, fresh water. Some more construction here, and Maya Droid created a house construction site. So this one's come a little bit further in the build. It's got a crane attached to the building. Lots of detailed work here with trucks and cement trucks, and it's actually dug down a little bit in the ground as well. Very creative. And Basti created a little slice of Chinatown here, which looks super sweet. Unfortunately, it was a billion different objects when I was trying to assemble it, so it might be a little bit broken, but I tried to do what I could. Nice with the Imphenzia Hotel as well. Remember, it was meant to be one object. Wamba has created a residential area, another one to add to the lot here, with a playground in the background with a sand pit. With an airship above it here, we've got SpaceX, who created a Be Happy smiley face with E2Extrude and S2Scale studios. I like the design of the buildings, and we've got some cars parked there in the showroom. Great. Blue Oxel Daniel said hi Imphenzia from Russia, and he created this nice looking residential block with a park to go with it. CZ Levanik created Hometown Selection, which I can only presume is part of his hometown. Looks really nice. Cool residential buildings, cool corner building, and a little clock tower, and a little sports field. And Photomuse created Campus Center. Lovely design again. Not sure if it's based on a real building. Cool clock tower, and a really nice looking central building there with a park to go around it. Nice facade. And now let's head over to probably the most detailed build of them all, and this is by Kinetic Consciousness, who created Torsion Square. It features a real building in Sweden called Turning Torso, and I've only seen it from a distance, but From as far as I can see, it looks the same. And this one goes underground. You've got bicycles. Here's the entrance to the turning torso. You've got a little subway coming up here with more bicycles, people, trucks, people delivering things. Let's go all the way up to the top here. We've got a parachute guy. Super cool looking with an Imphenzia logo on the parachute itself. And on the top here, we've got a swimming pool, rubber ducks, swimming. Fantastic job. Now let's shoot across to the back of town, and we've got on the outskirts here by Fahad, we've got Fahad Block. Really nice looking buildings, neat, and a nice park to go with it. Good colors and interesting shapes. From Nabia, we've got Tampanese. Don't know if I said that right, but we've got a police station, and then an Imphenzia residency and an Imphenzia hospital. Oh, dollar signs as well. Let's make some cash out of this one. We've got another E to extrude, R to rotate. Starblade created my building, a twisting, a little bit like the turning torso here, like a twisty design. Those glass planes would be very difficult to manufacture, but cool little viewing deck. And I'd probably hold on to my cash, but Bandy created the Monkey Business Investment Bank. And I'll be a bit reluctant to put my money there, but quite cool with the dark design. Time for another warehouse look here. We've got Zenix created really nice looking semi trucks and forklifts and warehouses, and on the side here as well we've got really nice looking cars, and unfortunately they're flying, and I think that's just one of the problems from merging it into one big scene. And then we're going to save the environment and actually use an atomic power plant. You know that's clean, right? And the Gum Chopper has created a power plant, so it generates electricity for this town. That's not toxic smoke, I don't think. I'm sure that's just vapor. And the real Owen created a block that I can't pronounce. I don't know if he finished the surroundings, but the building itself in the center of the entire thing looks good. And Server Default created a really nice looking metro station. Parking spaces, cars to go with it, nice design of the platforms, trains, a little subway underground thing, a bus terminal, very detailed and very nice. And then we've got some more sporting stadiums here. We've got a soccer stadium by Annihilator. And nice and colorful, really cool looking stands and seating. Not sure if this is based on a real one, but I like it. Feroc has created an interesting looking, I guess it's either a hotel or a office building of some sort with nice palm trees to go around of it. Interesting radioactivity sign shape. And not so far away, we've got the DJ Ole or Joel, who's created some, I guess it's glass type of buildings. And again, a nice park to go on the backside here. And I like the shapes, the roundness of those buildings look nice. And a frequent visitor of the Discord server and the channel, we've got RossiBossi235, who's created a very nice looking Blender museum. That must be a real design. I'm pretty sure this one exists for real, right? The building itself looks spectacular. And then we've got time for another top entry here by Alexis ZPO, who's created a piece of Paris. I love the building work here. Fantastic level of detail, really nice looking atmosphere with the people having a meal there. We've got the old fellas here speaking a little bit in the park. We've got the fronts of the buildings are really, really nice looking. We've got a park with an old woman and a little kid, a pond, a police station, pharmacy. Wow. If those police see some action, they're going to send them off to prison. Droopy Droop has created this nice looking prison. Pretty cool color scheme on this one, and nice watchtowers on the side of it. We've got the prison buses here. I wouldn't want to be there, but I'm glad you made it. And we've got another twisting entry here by James G, who's created the Green Tower. Very cool looking design here. I like the overhang there. I like the way it spirals up. I like the colors. I like the balconies. And I like the top here with a little park in a view. Great job. And over here, we've got some residency buildings and a miracle tower created by the Miracle Coder with his Miracle City. It's got a mixture of palm trees, some normal green trees there, the Miracle Tower, a very neat job. And then over here, we've got another interesting design of a building. We've got Herbie First has created the Mysterious Bank here. Pretty cool cylindrical shape with a solid base and trees to go with it. And since we unfortunately can't live forever, there needs to be a cemetery, and this one was created by JSX001, and he created this old church. Lovely church, lovely graveyard, if you can say that, and lovely trees. And we're going to continue on our low poly city journey here, and let's head over to Jose Luis 2020's nice looking colorful buildings here. Got a residential area and a hotel on the corner to finish it off. Sweet. And over here we've got Triniberry has created a nice little set of interesting buildings here. Cool designs, little street foods and coffee shops, and another St. George's police station, donut shop, and a basket yard with some good keep the ball in. And we've got cell coverage for the city. Now let's head over to this modern design suspended into the air building by Artsan, and it's called MASP. Again, don't know if maybe this is a real design, not sure. Thanks for making it. And next door by Samir Y, we've got a useful block here. We've got a petrol station, hot gas, a circus tent, and a building of some sort. The building has interesting window work, I thought, and some sporting courts here to play soccer, basketball, and tennis. And over here, I think we've got another one of the top entries by Gurgungle. Fantastic looking building. Again, don't know if it's based on a real design. Fantastic work with the windows, the overall design of the building, lots of detail on it, and very interesting with the two towers, the central block and the curved one. And let's shoot up a little bit in height again. Sally T has created a high house. When I lived in Liverpool in England, I lived in a block very similar to that one. The next block here, I think it has a really nice cartoony feel to it. It's got Beljo Jack's Suburban Town. Nice set of different type of buildings here, and it really get nice cartoon vibes from this one, both from the residential areas, from this little tennis court, from the playground, and the buildings. And over here up on the hill, we've got the Italian Mall created by Robert von Bauer. And check out the detail in here. We've got nice trees, the floor is fantastic. Sitting areas to eat in, doors, we've got a glass dome roof, corner pillars, and plenty of windows on the roof and on the sides and all around. Over here we've got the Sun Hotel by Deedway, and he created Deedz City Block. I thought it was a pretty cool pyramidical shape to that building, and we've got a restroom and a little park in the back. And this one we glimpsed a little bit before, but now we're back at it, and this one's Purple Dart Frog has created Canal Street. Very interesting looking shape, and again, I have no clue if that's based on a real design or not, but I like it. And over here, we've got Nuke $136. Thought that was pretty cheap for a Nuke. And he's created, again, some sort of a sporting field. I'm not quite sure what sport it is, but pretty nice with the building and the sign. And over here we've got a very nice looking building by Doler, and not only is the building nice, it's got a nice park to go with it, trees and a fountain, and I like the way the building pops up at the back there. And it's time for another hospital and a fire department, and this one's created by Owl X, and it's called Fire Hospital. Lots of detail has gone into the fire trucks, the building themselves, and even in the interior here. Look at all them clothing and the poles going down. Over here by the hospital we've got an entrance shooting down, and even a helicopter, and someone, poor patient there, has just landed. And over here we've got another top entry. We've got Grindel Khan has created the Grace Cathedral, and I actually remember this one from San Francisco. When I went to GDC, I lived right next to this one on California Street, and I thought this one was spectacularly well made. All the detail that's gone into it. Look at that glasswork, look at all the arches, the domes, even the clock tower, and the birds, the doves. This one exists in real life as well with the basketball courts, and again more glasswork. Amazing. We've got another theme park here. This one's by Bansheep, and it's called Lunapark. We've got the Ferris wheel and a roller coaster that I love, and a free fall, which I also love, and a nice little walkway around the center. And over here we've got a sweet looking residential area. We've got GTA Grove Street by ZTR. Very nice looking and useful buildings if you're going to make a game. Different styles of them, little back gardens. We've got a little roundabout in the center. It's not called a roundabout, it's where you turn around with the car. And nice looking entrances to the houses. And this one over here reminded me of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where Arthur Dent tried to block them from mowing down the house. It's G-Sound's Make Room for Highway. I thought this one had a cool twisty shape to it. This is Ghosty Fab's 10 drill towers, and I couldn't help myself but actually drilling myself down into it, and why not just go up as well? Makes really nice looking geometric shapes. Cool and interesting design. And over here we've got something really nice as well. We've got Pacato's Portuguese Village. Very cool looking colors, and the buildings themselves look very, I'd say homely, but I don't live in Portugal, but I like the design, I like the houses, I like the trees, I like the little playground. Nice job. And speaking of colors, over here we've got Alessandro Zero, or Alessandro, got the Dutch city center. Nice looking cranes, tall, nice buildings, and we've got a lot of details here on the balconies, and even on the top you got some AC units and stuff. And over here it'd be quite easy to get lost actually. We've got Ben BTG's mini maze block. Lots of hedges here creating a cool maze that literally you would get lost in. And over here we've got 3 submissions from the same name, but I think it's from different people. So we've got Minimal with Tristan here, who's created nice looking residential buildings. And then right next door we have Minimal Riley with another residential area, a park and some cottages. And I think the scale's a little bit big on this one, but it looks pretty good. And then next door to that we've got Minimal's Chris Town. Reminds me a little bit of the tutorial building I remember actually, and it's got some nice extra buildings on the side here. And let's head over back to the waterfront, and plenty of details in this one. NXSY's Seattle Center. I've never been to this one, but really nice work has gone into creating this tower and the surrounding area. Little rails there with the carts going around, or the trams, or whatever you call it, shuttles. There's little arches here, and let's shoot up along the tower as well and past that lift. Very nice job. Over here, Thomas C has created another city block. Literally another city block. Nice little gas station, some storage facilities, trees, and office buildings. Close to this one, we've got Sakura Park by Zed, aka Last Zed. And this is, I think, the national flower of Japan, the sakura tree or cherry blossom. And it looks nice with the pink colors there. Let's spin around. Over here, we've got a playground for the kids and a pond with a nice swan boat and some ripples. And I'm noticing a second double entry here. We've got Curbier's with Block 2, the museum, the modern museum by the looks of it. Very unique design here. Again, I don't know if it's based on just fantasy or a real modern museum, but I like the way it was elevated like that. MHM3D has created something that reminds me a little bit of a Dubai building here, that fancy hotel, the whatever, how many stars it's got. Cool design. And then we've got Player727 who's created a neat looking block as well. It's got some, again, maybe residential buildings, a restaurant with some sitting areas, and a heck load of barrels. Lots of chimneys on the top. Wondering what they're doing in there. Death Tome has created DT Tower. Again, I thought this building had a really interesting design. The balconies that go with it, with the different colors. Maybe it's, I don't know, a lot of towels. They've been swimming a lot, but very cool design. Elindrion has created what looks like a pretty cool looking church in the center there, and I like the shape of the buildings that surround it. Very interesting and unique design, and I like those little squares, checkered squares on the side. You can never get too many parks in a city, and Firestorm 20 added a nice park with a little pond to go with this one and a central piece tree. Massive tree by the looks of it. I guess you can never have too many churches and cemeteries, so we've got another one here. This one was created by Billy Z. It's got a playground on the side of it. A restaurant maybe, Italian, could be. And there are all the graves. Nice entry. And over here we've got the Hundertwasserhaus, I think it's called, by Shagelish, and this real one actually exists in Vienna, as far as I know. Good job putting that one together. And if you like The Simpsons, you're gonna love this one, because here's a piece of Springfield that made it in. Nemaron has created Springfield with the school and the surrounding. We got this quick E-Mart. This brings back memories. And over here, Schmetterling has created a bank, and I think Schmetterling means butterfly, doesn't it? And if a butterfly looked like that, it'd fall like a brick. But I really like the design. I like the simplicity of it. And over here, we've got time for one more church. This one's set in a lovely park. It's created by Seth, and it's creatively named San Scalum de Extrudus. Play with scale and extrude there. I like this passage that goes over the water as well. And over here, my buddy Draco Socard has created 2 food places. One of them is Draco's, and you could probably have a burger there. That's the drive-thru, and here we've got a Swedish and American flag by the other restaurant. And over here is another buddy with the craziest name of them all, Creme de la Rectum. He's created City Square. I like the detail a lot. I like the sign, I like the buildings, I like the shape, I like the colors, and the creative use of the gradients. On the other corner of town here, we've got another police station by Jersey. And this one's got a helicopter, and it's also got an ambulance helicopter, a lot of cars to go with it, and a parking lot, and a little backyard. Back here towards the front, we've got another detailed entry. This dome-looking cylindrical creation by RLP is called Consumption Temple. I like the shape of it. I like that big statue coming, the bird breaking out of the roof. And I like the interior here as well. So let's spin up and shoot across this one. Nice job. Penguin has created a play area here, and I think this is a residential area to go with it. Some little cars spinning around there and some trees to go with these buildings here. Nice. And next door here, we've got another building, and this one was created by Dave Peronda, and it's the Nobel Prize Factory. So they produce some decent prizes now for some worthy people. I like the shape of that building. And last but definitely not least, we've got this tall building by Manasseh, and it's called Stene Bank. And it says, I made this on a sign there, and you certainly did. I like these tall buildings. They go really well in the city together with everything else. And that was all the submissions as far as I know, and I really hope I didn't miss anyone. So thank you for submitting all your buildings to make this incredible city. Amazing job, guys. Thank you. Thanks once again for all of these wonderful submissions, and now I have to reveal 5 winners, and it was super difficult for me to pick because there was a top tier, especially of maybe like 10 to 15 blocks that I found it really difficult to choose from. So if your block wasn't chosen, I hope you don't get too discouraged because there were some really good entries here. So don't be discouraged, press on, and now on to the actual 5 winners then. So first up, we've got Kinetic Consciousness with his Torsion Square. And I think the level of detail that went into this block was spectacular. It had everything from great architecture, impressive work with all the buildings and all of the characters. And not only characters and skydivers and swimming pools and rubber ducks, it had bicycles and an underground, it had trucks, and just overall it had a lot of detail, and I really like the way that block was put together. So Kinetic Consciousness, very good job on that one. Thank you. Next up, we've got Alexis ZPO with his Piece of Paris. And this was another entry that when I got to this one, when I flew through the town, I was impressed by the buildings. First of all, the way they looked, all the old style cars and the people. And it gave a really nice atmosphere with the people eating at the diner, and they all had expressions. We had the park there with the lady and the boy, not the lady boy, and the police officers and the police. So that was another one that really impressed me. And then we had Grindel Khan's Grace Cathedral. And first of all, I recognized this one, and I had actually walked past this one in San Francisco, but that doesn't play a part in winning. What did play a part in being one of the winners is the amount of detail that went into that build. I was really impressed by all the detailed work on the building itself, with the people that came out of the entrance doors there, all the nice glass windows and those basketball courts at the top there. So another entry that was just blew my mind when I saw it, so very good. Another winning entry is by Bug-Eye Jones, and this block really impressed me as well. It's got a lot of details and it really carefully thought out, I thought. And it's the Imphenzia Hotel, and it had a lot of people in it, a lot of cars, a lot of buildings, even a guy off a diving board, and people coming out of a petrol station with their convertibles. Nice balconies, and overall just the block was laid out super nice, and so I really enjoyed having a look at that one as well. And finally, we also have NXSY's Seattle Center, and this tower with a lot of details, including the lift going up, and down at the bottom we also had the arches and the little shuttle service that goes around. And I like the way that it was put together, the colors and the level of detail of this one as well. And it was a pure joy to just pan through this one, fly through the different detailed work that was created. Again, thanks everyone for your entries, and don't get discouraged if you didn't get picked, because I was super happy to fly through each and every one of all of your entries. So let's get back to modeling. Let's do another monthly challenge, and you've actually done another monthly challenge. You've already done the vehicle challenge for February, so next up, I'm going to be tackling those entries. So I hope you don't mind that it lags a little bit behind. And also, if you want to join these type of challenges, head over to the Imphenzia Discord server and check out the link in the description there, because you can join and model these type of things as well, I'm sure. And one final note as well, if you want to use these models in a game or maybe in a video, if you want to do some rendering, then you can also download all of these city blocks. They're in the Discord server and you can use them royalty free. So that's another reason to head over to the Discord server right now. Until next video, have a great one, and I'll see you then. Bye!